Well, today I'm back in another three-row SUV. This is the 2023 Toyota Highlander. This is the hybrid version, so the fuel economy is really good. The power, yeah, it's a hybrid, so it's not going to have as much get up and go as you would expect out of like a V6 or something like that. But to be honest about it, it's been a very pleasurable driving experience so far, and I love the interior. So let's dive in to the 2023 Toyota Highlander Hybrid. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to techgooch, and today we're in the 2023 Toyota Highlander Hybrid. I'm actually going to take this off. It's actually more shady down here, so and of course clouds have been going in and out all day. But either way, this vehicle has been a literal enjoyment to drive. Now, since the day I got it, like literally the first time I sat in it, I immediately knew it was like, oh, this is nice. Now, being in the interior itself is quite lovely. It's comfortable. It's fairly quiet. There's a creak up here somewhere. I don't know if I'm getting it on the microphone, but I think, you know, like any vehicles, you can get creaks. This one, it just has one right above my head, and it's only there if I actually have the sun shade open. So it's like anything. That's something I would definitely get repaired, but yeah, it is what it is. But aside from that, driving on the highway, driving in town, driving it everywhere has been great. Now, it's got a 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine. It's, like I said, if I'm at a stoplight and I slam on it, it does not have the get up and go as the non-hybrid version. But that's to be expected. It is a hybrid. It's not lacking power. It still can tow 3,500 pounds. But it's got the fuel economy. So this is a vehicle that you can take about anywhere you want, and it's affordable to drive. I see that as a very important factor. I do not like driving vehicles that every time I drive it, I can feel the gas just pouring on the ground because it's so inefficient. This vehicle is not that. It's extremely comfortable. It's got way more than enough space, and it gets 35 miles to the gallon. That is a huge winner in my book. Now, of course, it's not an EV, but we're not ready for everything being EVs yet, and it's going to be, I think, some time before we get EVs that are like this, that are super efficient and with all the charging infrastructure in place. That's just my thought. As an EV owner, I love EVs, but this hybrid technology that Toyota put into this vehicle is fantastic. Now, I did not get exactly 35 miles to the gallon. I took a nice little journey, about 150 miles total. First time at 160, and that I got about 33 and a half. So is it 35? No. On the highway, though, it technically is supposed to get 34. So 33 and a half to 34 in the part of Iowa that I live is actually doing quite well. Yeah. I did also put a kayak on top of this for a brief bit and to try out to see what that did. It knocked it down a little bit, but it drove on the highway just great. Didn't even know it was there, other than it was obviously there. So that is the gist of this vehicle. I think what we're going to do is we're going to chomp out here. We're going to do the tour around the outside. We're going to tour the inside and kind of go through everything, and yeah, at least get you the thoughts of what this guy looks like and you know how it's going to actually work on the inside here. So let's jump out of the car. Okay, so as always, I'm leaving the engine on. That way you can hear what it sounds like. It actually just kicked, the fans just kicked back on. But looks from the get-go, it's a very good looking, sleek, larger SUV. I really like the look of the Highlander. When they did the redesign a few years back, I thought they did a fantastic job. And of course, with the hybrid, it takes that to the next level just because of the efficiency of it. So, not a whole lot to say. You can tell it looks like a Toyota. You know, it has those standard features that you would expect in a Toyota. The headlights, the tail lights, everything. It just has that look, right? And but it's a very good look. I do like the look of it. Okay, let's jump in the front seat. Now, this obviously is not their large SUV like the Sequoia is, right? This is a mid-sized larger SUV, but it is a 3-row, so it does have plenty of room. But the thing about the Highlander that I like more than the Sequoia, and I understand I've said this multiple times on those other videos. This one has, in my opinion, about the right amount of buttons and switches. I got, 6 down here, and I got one that's not being used, that I can get, your standard stuff, your cameras, things like that. I always start over here, obviously, to show the door controls, which are standard, handle and seat presets. We have a 12.3-inch instrument cluster here for the driver. Nice digital display. If I actually can cycle through some of these things real quick for you, just to kind of give you an idea, you can see everything that's changing. But the nice thing is I'm gonna stay on here for a second. I don't know what the heck that was. All right. I'm gonna actually choose this drive mode while I'm here. So this is where I can actually change between sport, normal, and eco. But it doesn't just change a simple thing. If I hit this guy, it'll actually show me the vehicle and kind of put different colorations to it. So you can see in sport mode we have this red background, and then it'll eventually go back to the clusters and change a little bit because of that. And then if I go into eco mode, this little green eco pops up there above the windshield there. So that's kind of neat, just kind of some neat things that they do to give you some animations. I think it makes it kind of fun to do and to play around with. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Jeez, it was getting a little dark, wasn't it? Standard instrument controls on the steering wheel, standard in terms of the cruise control settings as well. Standard for the sticks here on either side of the steering wheel for the windshield wipers, lights, and turn signals. So nothing fancy there. Another 12.3-inch display here for the entertainment system. It's the same entertainment system that if you've been in a Toyota. It's just a nice large 12.3-inch version of it. And they do have CarPlay and Android Auto, all wireless, no wires at all. Always a huge bonus in my book. I don't know why anybody does wired still. Climate controls, also standard. You do have, this one has the split where I can change between the people. Right now I don't have it on auto. I have it toned down so the blast of air isn't too loud. And then we do have a nice Qi charger. I like this Qi charger because there's plenty of space here, but it gets it out of the way, but easily accessible from anywhere, to be honest. So either the driver or the passenger can easily use it. A little cubby down here next to the USB port, as well as 2 USB-C charging ports and a 12-volt port. I just like this layout of the center console. 2 drink, cup holders. The shift knob is our standard, tried and true capability of shifting, but we can do the more manual, right, selecting the drive as well. Once you're in drive, you can just kind of slick it off to the left. We do have our EV mode, trail mode, turning traction control off, and then your electric parking brake controls. It's just really well laid out. I think when they made this vehicle, they just did a really good job of laying things out properly. And now one of my favorite things isn't technology based at all. It's the center console, because it doesn't do the gigantic lift up and get in my way thing. It does an actual retractable lid. I love when they do these type of lids, because it just doesn't, you can leave it open, it doesn't get in the way. Anybody can easily access it. And if you have if you have this down and your passenger is sitting here and they have their arm here, if it's lifting, they have to get their arm out of the way. In all reality, I can have my arm here and still open it. It's just, doesn't have as much support, but I'm not getting it in the way. And it's got plenty of storage capability, as well as another 12-volt down there as well. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. So there's that. I love that. Lastly, up front here, we have our glove box, standard glove box, but it's there. So, all right, JBL audio. We do have a lovely panoramic roof, which does have a cover that closes. It's all electronic. It goes all the way back. I'm not going to do that right now. Leave it open and get light in here. We do actually have a nice sunglass holder and your conversation mirror, which I've only seen on vans pretty much. So it is kind of, it's a feature that I never used in any of the vans that I owned, even though I had them. But it is there. And then this one also has the dash cam. So let's get to the back seat. Okay, so the first back seat, the middle row technically, right? 2 captain's chairs, so nice and comfortable. Cup holders here in the center. We do have USB-C ports here, as well as an actual AC port here, up to 1500 watts. We do have our own climate controls right here, easily accessible by either passenger, so it's not off to one side like you do see in some vehicles. Standard controls for the window, door, and we do have shades. So there is that. Overhead is actually for the air, so it's actually, you can direct it directly onto your head and cool down fast. It's not just coming out of the center console here. It's just really well laid out in my opinion. So that is second row, and of course we have our panoramic sunroof overhead. Let's check the back seat. So to get back here, just like normal, and then it slides forward, I am going to try to put this seat back in the exact position that it was in. It's probably right about there. Now, I am not going to say that I'm super comfortable right here. As you can see the angle, right? But the fact is that I can get in here with still having plenty of room. I could definitely sit back here for a short period of time. I would not want to take a road trip as an adult back here. Road trip definitely for kids, not too bad. You do have cup holders back here on both sides, so not terrible. It is sitting pretty far forward right now. Let me see here. So I just wanted to show at least to get my hand free. If you lift up on this, or how you can fold the seats, you can adjust the angle of the seat, so it's a lot more comfortable. So if I do that, now it's definitely more comfortable. Still not super, but I could do a decent amount of time back here. But again, long road trips for an adult, you'd have to have somebody that's comfortable with sitting back here. If I was sitting here by myself, I could probably do it. But if you had two people back here, it'd be a little tight. Then again, for having capability of actually 6-7 people, it's pretty nice. So let's look at the storage with the seats up. Okay. Power hatch, here we go. So, seats up, slightly lean back, right? If I had it straight forward, I'd be able to get a little bit more, but not a huge amount of storage. However, and this is where this is going to come into play. When you lay this thing down, it becomes it accordions down to one piece. So you're not going to have anything hook or go down in between a crack. The only place that there's a split between it is right here in between these two seats. But there's a lot of space there. A lot of space. Almost forgot to show you the under. A little bit of storage here. Not a whole lot. But we do actually have this guy here that you can put and actually, cover your back end up. So there is that. This is just quick and easy removable, isn't it? Kind of crazy. All right. So there's that. And that bar goes in right here above. You have to have the rear seats down to use it. Right there, right there. And of course it clips in here and here. Okay, let's check the storage capability of this. And we're going to put the rear seats up. Because in all reality, well, we could do it both ways, I guess. Before I put them up, let's estimate. If I didn't have people in that back seat, I could do 12 with both rear seats, or both middle seats all the way back. I could do 12 suitcases. It's a lot. However, I'm going to put these seats up, and I'm going to leave them in their vertical position. So this is kind of the maximum amount of stuff you're going to get back here. Don't know if I'm going to get I'm going to go ahead and try this in the corners to see if it'll close with leaving that middle open. 6. I can get 6 suitcases back there with the rear seats up in their max position. Now, if you wanted to lean them back, you're going to lose a little bit, but that's pretty awesome. Okay, we do have our gas cap, but that's not what we're here for. We're going into the engine bay. All right, so no hydraulic shocks, standard stick. I don't know why they do that anymore. They should have, I think that should be standard, but that said, Here's our engine bay area. And obviously it's a hybrid, so you're not going to have a 12-volt battery sticking out here. But there she is. Now, this specific vehicle has all the safety features to it. This is the Platinum series. It has L4 all-wheel drive on it. It's got the pre-collision warning stuff. It's got the lane departure stuff, you know, and self-correcting lane. It's not lane centering. I don't know if they actually claim it is or not, but it definitely is mediocre when it comes to centering yourself in the lane. It's more just lane correction. If you start veering off of the road hitting the line, it'll bump you back in. So every vehicle that I've had from Toyota is kind of up and down depending on where they are in the more automated type of driving. But it's lacking in that department, in my opinion, especially for being, you know, well, this is a larger SUV, but it's only sitting at 55, almost 56,000 for this specific one with the Platinum trim and all all the fixings that this specific vehicle has. I'm really impressed by it. Now, the other thing I will say is that was actually the first time I've been in the back seat on this vehicle. I had sat in the rear seat here, but I have not sat in the third row yet. So that was my first time back there. For what this vehicle is, I'm impressed. Like I said, when sitting back there, the variation of the angle of the seat will have all the, you know, the direction in the world of how comfortable it can be. And if you have to pack stuff behind the seat as much as possible and you're not going to be able to lean them back as much, it can be a little more, not claustrophobic so much, but definitely less comfortable. But if you can lean back, it's not too bad. So what I think I'm going to jump onto the highway over here so we can see what this guy looks and sounds like on the highway, and then we'll wrap things up. So kind of funny real quick, I actually did close the shade again just to verify, but yeah, that creakiness that I had is basically gone now. So it's definitely something up there. I don't know. All right, so we're coming up to the highway here, but I did want to say the reason I kind of take that, I don't know if you've noticed, but I pretty much take all of my review vehicles when I'm doing the review through that area more than anything because the road is not built very well. There's a lot of bumps, a lot of uneven surfaces, and if a vehicle isn't going to handle very good on rough terrain, or I would say, you know, rough asphalt, you know, rough, lots of potholes and stuff, that's actually why I use that area. But if you were thinking, why does he constantly use a similar area? That's the reason why. I obviously drive it all over the place while I'm reviewing it for myself to come up with what I'm doing here, but that's why I do all my filming there, is because it'll show real quick if this vehicle is not riding good, and this vehicle rides really well. So yeah, that's just wanted to point on that. So now we're coming up to the highway, and I wanted to at least, I'll put it in sport mode to see how, you know, how well it actually accelerates. I've not tested it fully yet, but there's 60. So I forgot to put the seat back. But that said, like I said, it's not going to win races. It really isn't. It's still a 4-cylinder. It doesn't matter what you do. A large vehicle like this with a 4-cylinder, yeah, it's got the hybrid capability as well, but it's definitely built for efficiency, not for raw power. Now, I did want to say one more thing. This does have a 10-inch heads-up display as well that I actually didn't mention. It's the standard heads-up display that you get in any Toyota that has a heads-up display, really. Gives me the speed, gives me the lane markings to make sure, you know, if you can see that tells me the speed limit. And, of course, my power meter, how much, if I'm driving efficiently or not. But all in all, this specific, if I was in the market for a 3-row SUV right now, this would be one of the ones at the top of my list. In all honesty, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the Highlander the first 5 minutes I got in and started driving it. I immediately liked it, and it's a 3-row SUV that I can take anywhere and not feel guilty about going there, because, and of course my pocketbook it's not gonna hurt too much either, because it's efficient in doing it with as many people that can get in here. So thank you as always for watching this video all the way to the end. Like, comment, share, subscribe, let me know what you think. I have more vehicles coming, so and I'm going to keep going with it, and I'm having a blast, and I hope and I appreciate every one of you that actually watches this video. So thanks for watching. Catch you back here on Tech Gooch for another future video review. See you soon.